On today's Live Daily News, 3 San Angelo men sit behind bars in Tom Green County for a variety of reasons. 2 crashes in and around town cause a stir, and a look at the weather for the rest of the week. Plus, Del Castillo is coming to town, and Joe Hyde has all the details before the big concert. All that and more. I'm Yantis Green, and this is Live. But first, have you tried to buy a good steak lately? Take a trip up to Miles and select one of the juiciest and tastiest cuts of steaks in Texas at Sklarnik's. Sklarnik's Smoked Meats is an award-winning smokehouse located on the main drag there in Miles, Texas at 108 South Robinson. Sklarnik's Smoked Meats is open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays and 9 to noon on Saturdays. It's a drive that's worth the taste. Sklarnik's Smoked Meats over there in Miles, Texas. We start the show today with a fatal crash out of Coleman County near OHIV Reservoir. A 37-year-old man was killed in an ATV crash near Farm to Market Road 1026. That's outside of Goulbusk. He was identified by DPS as Tyrell Harding. Along with Harding, a 15-year-old was also treated for injuries. Harding was driving a Polaris Razor ATV at a high rate of speed on that highway and pulled into a bar ditch, hitting a culvert. Once off-road, the Razor went airborne and then rolled. Harding was ejected from the vehicle and was pronounced dead at the scene. And that wasn't the only crash making headlines today either. At around lunchtime, a 2-vehicle crash caused rushing lunchgoers to slow down at the busy intersection that is Jackson and Knickerbocker, or Chickenbocker. In all seriousness, the T-bone style crash did total both a Toyota Tundra and a Buick Enclave. It is unknown how the vehicles crashed or if anyone was injured, as no official statement was given from police on scene. San Angelo police did show up in full force to work the crash, as it took more than the normal amount of units to direct traffic at the busy intersection. Overall, the crash was cleaned up right around 1:15 this afternoon. In crime news today from the courthouse, 2 San Angelo men were arrested for crimes against children. The 2 incidents were separate, so we'll start with the first one. This morning at around 10 o'clock, 21-year-old Yairo Hernandez was booked into the Tom Green County Jail for a grand jury indictment for indecency with a child by sexual contact. In the indictment alleges that Hernandez assaulted a young boy here in San Angelo. He has been wanted since September of last year. He's being held in jail without bond, also on an ICE hold. The other man accused of crimes like that is 20-year-old Carlos Rangel. Rangel is charged with aggravated sexual assault of a child. The investigation into Rangel began on July 2nd when a car crashed on private property. Rangel was allegedly there to meet the child victim. Moved forward a couple of days, and a family member claimed that a child had met with Rangel on Instagram. The child said in an interview that she told Rangel her age before the assaults took place. On July 11th, Rangel was arrested. He remains in the Tom Green County Jail as well. The full stories are only on sanangelolive.com. And more crime, a Rochester, Texas man has been indicted by a Tom Green County grand jury for running over a woman's hand with his truck. 37-year-old Rondi Strickland and the victim had been arguing on their way back from Cooper's Barbecue at Christoval. When they got back to San Angelo, the victim tried to get her 3-year-old child out of his truck and away from an intoxicated Strickland. Reports indicate that he accelerated the vehicle with the child on his lap and ended up running over the victim's hand. A witness tracked Strickland down and stood in front of his truck until police arrived. This ended up in a 5-hour standoff with Strickland until he released the child and was arrested. We reported on that earlier. He was released the next day from jail, but on May 28th of 2023, he was arrested for violating a protective bond. Moving to weather, currently outside in the Concho Valley, we are under an excessive heat warning until Thursday at 9 p.m. Don't be surprised if that gets extended. It may get reduced to a heat advisory. Outside right now, it's about 107 degrees. Tonight, the low should only get to around 80, so expect it to be a warm night. There'll be warm nights for several days in a row with triple digits during the day. There is no rain chance in the forecast. Temperatures may drop a couple of degrees by the weekend. Make sure you come back here for live daily news every day for updates on the weather. And finally, San Angelo Live's Ryan Chadwick is representing San Angelo at the 2023 Big 12 Media Day. That's being held at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington for the next couple of days. How did today go? Ryan will tell you in a second, but first, here's a message from Jim Bass Ford.
Big savings during our demo sale at Jim Bass Ford. We created the Ford Explorer for adventures big and small. It's designed to see what you can't with an available 360-degree camera and voice-activated Sync 3 to stay connected. Plus, it's the all-time best-selling SUV in America. Be adventure ready with Ford Explorer. Now, drive a new Explorer and get $6,000 in total savings. For this great offer, visit Jim Bass Ford today.
I'm here at the Big 12 Media Days. Day one is underway. We heard from Commissioner of the Big 12 this morning, spoke a little bit about Big 12 Mexico and the future of Big 12 sports. First up on the agenda, we had head coach of the TCU Horned Frogs, Sonny Dykes, just kind of talking about the hangover of the lack thereof of a hangover of the national championship last year, and how the TCU Horned Frogs weren't really expected to do anything last year, and he's fine with that same outlook this year, flying under the radar, ready to go. Next up was Houston head coach Dan Holgerson. He made several comments about Houston joining the Big 12 and about the rivalries that are already kind of established between Houston and some of the current Big 12 schools, such as the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And then, of course, we've also heard from Baylor's head coach Dave Aranda today. Unfortunately, his father passed away recently, and he spoke at length to that. And then we still have not heard from Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian yet, but that's still on the agenda. But lots more action coming from Big 12 Media Days. Day two will feature Texas Tech, of course. But as for today, just look forward to more write-ups and some of these Coach Pressers videos coming out. All right, back to y'all.
Our job is about so much more than cleaning floors. It's about personal investment.
Sometimes it's just taking the time to listen and show you care.
When you make the effort to connect, you realize we're all on the same team.
Even the smallest of efforts can make a big impact.
At Carpet Tech, serving is always personal.
Welcome back to the show. We usually have a very special guest, but we don't today. This is not a guest. This is somebody that we all know, publisher of San Angelo Live, Mr. Joe Hyde. Joe, what's up?
You mean this? I'm not a special guest?
I mean, you're not a guest. We'll say you're special, but some people might cancel you for the next one.
This is like this only second time in like 4 months you've let me come on your show.
No, I wouldn't say that. So
hey, before we go, before we continue, you guys got to know about our podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. That's what we've been working on. We have this entire show.
That's why you ain't been on, because you've been slaving getting the podcast.
Yeah, that and redeveloping the website and
a lot of things coming.
A lot of things coming. A lot of good stuff. So if you haven't gotten the podcast, you ought to, because if you're driving around, rather than listening to some long-haired, maggot-infested FM radio station DJ, you could listen to the podcast of the Live Daily News.
There you go. It's on Apple Podcasts and also Spotify, so go check that out. Joe, I want to bring you on the show today. You're a man of many hats. You do a lot of different things, and most people don't know about a lot of them. But one that some people probably may know about is you're a music promoter. You're a concert promoter. You put on concerts of your own, but also when other people have concerts, you like to promote those too. So you partnered with SAPAC, and we're going to be having
It's more complex than that.
We're having
more complex.
So explain it to me. So for me that don't know, Del Castillo band's going to be in town.
Del Castillo.
And we want everybody to go. So Joe, give them the spiel.
So the I'm not a music promoter per se, but I mean, I could be. But the problem with promoting music today is that there's no viable revenue model for a music promoter. I mean, it's really hard to be a music promoter because your musicians and your sound guys and all the production people, they get
too many hands in the pot.
No, they're guaranteed to make money. And if you sell no tickets, then you lose your rear end.
Right.
And you're the one risking everything, but everyone else is getting guaranteed pay. So it's really a difficult thing to get into.
But even if you're not promoting it yourself, I know that, of course, like, you know, with San Angelo Live, we've promoted and advertised for, you know, like Nasworthy Nights. I know we put on the 4th of July Star Spangled Banner show, and now Wild West Fest is coming up. We're doing a lot of
Say that one more time. We put on the 4th of July or the 3rd of July concert.
Yeah.
So one more time.
The Star Spangled Banner concert and fireworks.
In conjunction with Downtown San Angelo, but we put the horsepower behind it.
And then also you got West Texas Jam that's coming up. We're doing a lot of promotion for that. But before that,
we used to have West Texas Jam. It got killed by COVID.
What?
Yeah, Dr. Ferretis came out and said that.
Oh, not West Texas Jam. I'm sorry.
I
said the wrong name.
This is a good story.
I'm sorry. I said the wrong name. Right.
Dr. Ferretis. We were going to bring Parker McCollum here, right?
Yeah.
And he's like this Texas country crooner. You know, and everyone loves him, thinks he's great. Today, Parker McCollum's probably $1 million. He's an arena type act. But we're going to bring him during.
But they still got some pretty good guys coming though.
Well, no, just listen to the story. In 2020, we were going to bring Parker McCollum. And the city, you know, to the river stage, and the city said, come up with your social distancing plan. And I'm like, what the heck is that going to be, a social distancing plan? So, you know, my thought was, I guess we're going to have to get strings and kind of make a checkerboard all the way down the hill and you can only be in every other checker.
Square.
Yeah, you had to be in your square. Good and it started to sound like a Biden campaign event.
Well,
so I was like, no way, I'm not going to do it.
The good news with that is, hey, we conquered the storm, and because of that, no one died.
And can you imagine all the lies that were told?
That was at risk because of Parker McCollum.
Anyway,
back to the music.
Anyway, that was my last step into like real promoting. Was that, you know, it was me and Thomas Hoffman of Wild West Fest. He's now on his own. He's doing pretty well. He has a show coming up with Giovanni and the Hired Guns and with Gary Allen. Yeah. 2 nights, Friday, Saturday. I think it's the 29th, 30th or something like that.
I believe it's the 27th and the 28th.
Is that what it is? 27th,
I believe
28th?
so.
Okay.
But that's not really what we are talking about all the music
We're
stuff.
Talking about the week prior.
But we want to talk about, the week prior.
All right, so.
Everyone is excited about this. If you've been on San Angelo Live's homepage, you see a huge video on the top for Del Castillo. I'm young.
Castillo.
Who the heck is Del Castillo?
You think it's a dude.
I said, he's great. It's a band.
So Del Castillo's not a dude. It's 2 brothers,
Okay.
Rick and Mark. And they're classically trained guitarists.
Okay.
And they're out of Austin, so you know they probably went to UT School of Music and all that kind of stuff. They're very good. You can actually get lessons from one of them. Okay. I think they give lessons in the local area. But they play nylon string guitars, and then they put it behind them like a Latin rock beat. I mean, a lot of percussion. They have a singer, Alex Ruiz, who's really good, and Albert, their bassist. Is an awesome musician. He's down from the Rio Grande Valley. But this band is, electric.
What kind of, if you could think of a really famous band that everybody knows, who would you compare them to, I guess?
I don't know. It's kind of a mix between Signo, but no one knows Signo.
Like Santana?
Yeah, a little bit of Santana.
Yeah.
A little bit of Santana, a little bit more Van Halen.
Okay.
So it's Latin rock, and that's what it is.
Gotcha.
But the other thing about them is, guitarists in Texas there's a history of them. Mm-hmm. We had, for example, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Okay.
And the thing about Stevie Ray Vaughan was he could play and sing. That guy was a technical perfectionist in the blues. Well, these guys are technical perfectionists in classical guitar that they've taken and they put into the Latin genre. And it's really, the Del Castillo show is one that you don't want to miss. It's kind of it's a Texas thing. Mm-hmm. It's cross cultural. I don't care if you like Tejano, you like Norteño, or you like Texas country,
or like hard rock,
or you like hard rock.
Yeah.
This is the band you want to come see because you can actually enjoy it. You may not know a lot of the songs, but you're going to enjoy it because you're just going to be amazed at how good they are.
Now they may know a few songs, right? I think we were talking beforehand. I think they cover some songs that people have made famous, and also they're on like a Kill Bill album or something like
All right,
that.
so
Explain
Robert
that.
Rodriguez is a filmmaker in Austin, and he's the one Once Upon a Time in Mexico and a whole bunch of other these kind of indie films. But he has used Del Castillo music in a lot of his films, and then of course Del Castillo got picked up by the director for Kill Bill Volume 2 or something, version 2.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino. Yes, he loved it. Yes, we got to get all these names right.
I was like Uma Thurman. No, that's the person in it. I was close.
But Rodriguez picked up this band. And he renamed them Chingon. You know, so it's not Del Castillo, it's Chingon when he received with Rodriguez.
Gotcha. So that's where maybe a little unfamiliar, but you think they're going to play some of that kind of stuff?
Oh heck yeah! These guys will rock the house. Now, the last time I saw Del Castillo was the first time I saw him was in 2007. They used to come to the Steel Penny. I don't know if you don't remember the Steel Penny. You were still in diapers.
I'm a Penny Bar and Grill guy, but then it's now the Penny Tap House. I mean, everyone still knows the area.
But back in the day, you know, you had Blaine's for your country and you had the Steel Penny for your rock and roll.
Okay.
And they came to the Steel Penny, and I was there to, I don't know, we had the San Angelo Live was a magazine back then, and we were covering this thing. And so I was there, and me and the bass player made pretty good friends. We're back there, you know, cutting up in the green room and stuff. And next thing you know, I walk out with a stack full of, you know, Del Castillo CDs and a couple T-shirts for the kids and all that kind of stuff. But on that stage that night, just the two Del Castillo brothers was so fantastic. But then you know who shows up?
Who's that?
Lost Lonely Boys.
I was going to say, are those kind of similar bands?
Well, Lost Lonely Boys, I would say, is more rock.
More rock,
yeah.
Okay. So these guys have a little more norteño or a little more...
Enrique Garza, the lead guitarist for Lost Lonely Boys, is a very technical... He's almost like you say a technical blues guitarist.
Okay.
Kind of like in the vein of Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Okay.
These guys that play Del Castillo are more classically trained.
Classic rock.
Yeah, classic. Yeah. But they're playing nylon string guitars, not electric guitar necessarily. So.
Oh, okay.
So and they play in tandem and things like that. So they're all of them are very technical. But I was just amazed that you know when Garza got up there with his guitar and he just fit in so well. I mean, just perfectly. And the other guy, Willie Ruiz, was singing lead vocals that night. And Willie Ruiz, of course, is a local San Angelo singer. He also he's released a couple albums.
Okay.
In fact, I saw him at a couple months ago down there at Coronaz. You ever been to Coronaz?
Yeah, one time Riff Raff was there, but I don't even know if you know who
Riff Raff
is. Okay, so enough talking about what they...
a band called Riff Raff?
It's a rapper, but yeah.
What does he rap about?
Oh, nothing really. I want to be honest with you, but let's
I don't care about Riff Raff.
Let's not talk about the Riff Raff. But we're done explaining what the music sounds like. I think the fans out there maybe want to hear a little bit of it. So James, if you want to pull up that Del Castillo video,
this is their latest. This is latest single release.
Okay, what you know what's called?
All right.
All right, and that's All Around by Del Castillo.
Give you a little taste of what they sound like.
I mean, that sounds like
sound better than Riff Raff, don't they?
That sounds like a good time. Joe, one thing we didn't talk about is where are they going to be playing at and when are they going to be playing?
All right, so you mentioned SAPAC. SAPAC is the San Angelo Performing Arts Center.
Yep.
Okay. It's this giant complex that they built. It's going to be in the Alto Joyce Murphy Performance Hall, which is the big auditorium behind the city. And it's at 7 p.m. on July 22nd. Now, here's a story behind that. Originally, this production is brought to you by the Green Apple Orchard San Angelo Music Series. Okay. So this is a good story too. So it's run by a guy named Craig Pfluger, who's kin to August Pfluger, the congressman, right?
And he's cousin or something.
Cousin.
Sure.
He's from out in Eden, Texas.
Okay.
You know, and they had this place there that I guess the city owned it, and they called it the Green Apple Orchard. And they used to bring in, like when we mentioned Parker McCollum, but when Parker McCollum was a $300 act, they brought him to the Green Apple Orchard.
What a long way to go! And
so
where was that at?
That's out in Eden.
Oh, in Eden. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So people would drive to Eden to go see these emerging acts, and I don't know, politics of small towns or whatever. And somehow Craig just said, you know what? Let's move it to San Angelo because I'm tired of dealing with city trying to take away my Green Apple Orchard building.
That and there's more numbers of people.
More people.
Yeah.
But the other neat thing about what Craig Pfluger's built is the Green Apple Orchard group. You buy season tickets to it. He probably has 200 people already that bought tickets to this thing.
Okay.
So he originally was going to have. There's 3 theaters at the SAPAC.
Yeah.
There's the
B.
Yeah, where the weirdos are, right?
Okay.
I'm going to get in trouble for this. Where they have the drag queen shows.
There was that. Okay, so
anyway,
the B theater,
the
and
box
then there's
theater,
another one,
the Black Box Theater.
The Black Box.
And then they had the Brooks and Bates Theater, which holds about 300, I guess, 300 or 400. And then they have Murphy Performance Hall, which holds about 1,200.
Okay.
So he originally had it scheduled for Brooks and Bates, and then we started talking. I said, I think you could sell more tickets to Del Castillo than. Basically, he had about 75 to 100 tickets available. I said, what do we do to get it moved over? So B Theater wanted to have the Brooks and Bates that night. I don't know what they're going to do, but anyway, they wanted to have.
I'm sure whatever it is, it will be a very good time.
It'll be a family wholesome kind of thing, family friendly. Yes,
event. Yeah, it's fine. But on the other side,
we're going to have some real music by Del Castillo, the two brothers with the nylon string guitars and the full rock band behind them. And
the
it's
people in the
wonderful.
B Theater may be complaining because of the walls are going to be shaking.
Well, they complain anyway
because they're going to be rocking
hard. They're nothing but complainers.
I'm just saying they're going to rock hard. That's all. I'm not talking about.
You know how much they complained about my article?
I'm just saying this is going to be a rocking concert.
Rocking concert at the Murphy Hall behind it. It's connected to City Hall right behind it. The tickets are only $30.
Before we get in too much trouble, where can you buy tickets?
Green Apple Orchard. Just Green Apple Orchard San Angelo Music Series. Google that. Go
to San Angelo Live, the very top of San Angelo Live's homepage.
That's not running right now, but it's in our event calendar, and you'll see there's a lot of banner ads. We're running a big banner ad. We co-sponsored it with Craig so that we could try to bring a larger group to see what the Green Apple Orchard Music Series is for San Angelo, because I think it's a good thing.
Are they going to keep having more people?
Yeah, and they have two places they have performances at. One is the Chicken Farm.
Okay.
That's where all the Democrats hang out, right?
Okay.
Anyway,
Joe's gonna put me in the cancel box here in a second.
We're gonna get canceled off of YouTube.
He's been watching too much Andrew Tate today, so.
Oh my God, I've been watching the other side of Andrew Tate. We'll get into that later.
All right, Joe. So,
but also the other place they're putting things is SAPAC.
Okay, yeah.
And it's important that we support SAPAC events, even though they do some things that are objectionable personally to me. But it's important to continue to support it
because it's a great thing for the community.
Yeah, it's good to have the arts because it helps the kids. If we didn't have the arts, we wouldn't have a good orchestra band program at the high schools. ASU depends on us having good arts programs.
I mean, to be honest, one of the best acts I thought during the Star Spangled Banner concert and fireworks show was the Lakeview Mariachi Band.
Really?
I mean, it amazed me that those kids were high school kids.
And they were playing in tune.
Oh, yeah, singing like crazy.
Yeah, they were good.
Bellowing it out.
Yeah. One of the things Del Castillo does, it takes the mariachi standards and they rock and roll them.
There you go.
So,
one more plus. And I know everyone in San Angelo loves their mariachi. So one more time, Joe, when's it at? Where's it at? How do they get tickets?
July 22nd, 7 p.m., Green Apple Orchard, sponsored by San Angelo Live. Del Castillo at the Murphy Performance Hall right behind City Hall. $30 tickets. You get them on San Angelo Live, or just Google Green Apple Music Series San Angelo, and you'll get the page for Del Castillo. That's Del Castillo's two brothers, nylon guitars, rock and roll. You're going to love it.
Yep, absolutely, Joe. This has been fun. We're going to call it before you say anything else that's going to get me canceled. No. But for real, guys, go out there and get your tickets now. It's only $30, and it's going to be a really good time, so make sure you get those. And with that, we will go back to the studio. When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Cano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Cano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo. All right, we're back. Usually you're seeing Yantis, but unfortunately that's not going to happen
He
today.
already went home.
No. Yantis is he's actually dealing with a fire situation right now. There's a fire in East San Angelo.
It's South San Angelo.
You say East, I
it's
say
on
South.
Avenue V.
It's
That's
on
South.
the 200 block of Avenue V. Right now, the firefighters are out there fighting a big fire, so there's information on our website. Make sure you go and look at it. Of course, that is SanAngeloLive.com. Joe, any more final thoughts before we leave?
Don't forget to go on to Apple iTunes and Spotify podcast. Apple Podcast and
iTunes.
What did I say?
Old
iTunes.
man.
Old. They keep changing brands, so it's Apple
Make sure you go
Podcast.
to Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Check
Thank
us out
you.
on all their live daily news. Of course, we're
down-
on YouTube, Twitter,
and-
Facebook, everywhere. Download, hit the subscribe button,
and-
unsubscribe, resubscribe,
and Rumble.
unsubscribe, resubscribe.
Don't forget Rumble.
Joe Hyde's LinkedIn. That's where we all here. We're Live Daily News. We're here every weekday at the 4 o'clock hour. I guess during the 4 o'clock hour, I should say. Expected around that 4:30. But if we sometimes come late, sometimes early, that's because we're getting things ready to have the best show for
And
you
it
guys.
was really hard to get out on time today with that fire going on.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow for more Live Daily News. For Matt Trammell and Joe Hyde, we will see you guys tomorrow.
Take care.